And then the
Okay.
pagination is just page numbers, not uh, you know, there's no search yet. Just the concept right there.
Hi guys.
Hey, okay,
Hey,
Justin. We'll follow up offline about that. Hi, Tim.
How are things?
Things are good. I was talking to Justin about some stuff he committed to the back end, and how we can integrate that with the front end and all that. So that's good news. I've been working on the. Well, I guess are we starting now? Is
Yes.
everybody?
Well,
Okay.
Cameron will be in hopefully in a bit. It sounds like he was stuck in a meeting.
Okay. So do we wait for him, or do we start?
I think we'll get started. Sounds like we all have pretty tight schedules, so
Okay. Do you guys just want to go around the table?
sure.
Okay, I'll go first. So this, I guess, sprint slash week. Well, I guess it's only been a week because we restarted the sprint day. But I've been a little busy, so I've not dedicated much time to the project. What I have done is I worked on the opportunities page. So basically, it routes and it loads up data in a nicer way than it did before. Instead of loading JSON onto the screen, Tim and I kind of worked out the UI to actually show the table, and the stuff on the left has some Angular bindings, but a lot of it still isn't there. So I was hoping to hear from Cameron about the HTML/CSS, because right now it's just my basic take on it just to make it look like reasonable,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not beautiful. So I'm hoping this week I'll be able to get some stuff from him and really put this page together. Otherwise, I've not done anything. So that was it.
But it looks like on your end, like the issue 91 building the opportunity page is finished, right? It's just now about implementing the design for the page, but the page structure and data binding is all done?
The bindings are not done.
Okay, so you have a little bit more.
So that needs work. But before that, it would be nice to focus on the now that we have like some of the back end stuff, getting more mature. It might be best to put that as the priority to really integrate Angular and Ruby on Rails and everything, because we have pagination and we have search by topic. So I might take a step back from the opportunity page and go back to the good old explore page, because
Yeah,
now we have a real back end. So that would be good. That would probably be what I'd like to focus on. But if
that makes sense. It'll give Cameron a little time to catch up. I kind of stole him away for City of Learning project that was time sensitive, so.
Okay, yeah, whatever. So, that'll give him time. I'm gonna then just say that this week, I guess this sprint rather, I'll work on integrating Roar with the Explore page now that we have, the robustness of the endpoints.
Okay, and so that'll include the filtering and what else?
The lazy loading, like the pagination stuff, right? So whenever you scroll to the bottom, we'll have enough data, seed data, I guess just right now to show that it works. But that requires some calculation on the front end to say, hey, I need this range, right? I need from this index to this index.
Cool. And we have enough seed data in there, Justin?
uh, I'm not sure how much we need.
Can we set up a dev? Because I know we talked about this before. I'm 100% okay with just setting up like a dev flag for the seed data, so we can just add a whole bunch of reasonable seed data just for development purposes.
Um, I mean, I don't see why we don't just put it in the Heroku app as it is, and just connect to that.
For like later on, if we integrate like automated testing and stuff, we will want some seed data. So, I'm happy as long as we have it in some place that we won't lose it. Basically, we don't want volatile data or whatever. Well, however you want to go about it, it's fine.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't test with actual seeded content. I would use like a BDD style where I enter the data and then look for it, and then it
Like
could.
like mocking.
Yeah. No. Like I actually, enter it through the system, and then I look for it in the end, and then it gets wiped out.
Okay, I got you.
But we have a seed data file that just can be run. I just don't. I think it just needs more examples.
That's the key, yeah, because like I don't know if you, oh yeah, you did see the explore page. Right now, I'm just like pulling in some really, really bad, silly data, right? You know, just like silly images and basic data. Like it would be really nice to use, like now that we have our real backends, to really build up some nice seed data so we can test it and have a demoable, you know, explore page, and then opportunities page would follow because a lot of that data is shared.
I think for the seed data, it doesn't really matter if we have a lot of diversity of content. I think we have enough diversity now. So if we just like replicated what's there and like multiplied it and just had like 5 instances of things that duplicate, just so you have enough to check the pagination.
Yeah, I mean like the quality doesn't matter that much, but making sure all the fields are there and having enough data for us to demonstrate lazy loading is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Like the diversity doesn't matter, but as long as it's kind of different or whatever, like it actually represents like what would actually be returned from, well, I guess it is the real data, but in that sense. But
that's
yeah.
true. The C
okay,
data,
I'll work with that.
The C data might not match up with the newest data model per Justin's updates. Is that true?
No, it should.
Just.
It might not have everything filled in, but it will. It'll match.
Okay. Cool. So that'll be your main thing for this week, Matthew. Anything else?
Yeah, that's it, and that's going to be working with Justin. Really, I mean, I just want to take those times to make sure everything's wired up correctly, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it, and then yeah, that's all I'll have time for.
Cool. There was an issue number 94, which is helping Cameron put files into Angular structure. You're just waiting for him to respond on that one, or?
Yeah, yeah. So whenever he gets some time, I think I just laid out a few options for him, and whatever way he wants to go, I'll run with that. Until then, I don't want to make any assumptions on how he wants it set up or whatever.
Cool. Should I leave that one on Sprint 6 then, in case he gets into it, or I guess we can not worry about it for now?
That's your call. Yeah, I don't have an opinion.
Cool. All right, Justin?
Yeah, so I've added some things to the back end that really just need to be wired into the Angular app. I added pagination and a topic-based search. And really, I think, and I've updated a lot of the fields to match the model you had in the poll, the issue. So really, it's just a matter of them kind of being added to the Angular app and then seeing what needs to change.
Cool. So, do you think we can close out some of these tickets? Number 83, opportunities, filter ranges.
Yeah, that's the one that is. I was actually in there writing up a comment to show how pagination works. But
I think we can close out the issue. I mean, this is like along the lines of what I'll be working with Justin on this week.
Yeah, I was gonna close it with this comment, so don't close it right now.
All right.
I'll
Okay.
close it whenever this call's over.
All right, so that one's done. There's number 86, search.
That one is done-ish. I mean, it has a topic-based search, but it doesn't have like searching for titles. I don't know if that's the same thing or if it should be a separate, because they're completely different, executions.
So right now, my test data server, I believe it's searching against the topic or so. Wait, I can't remember. Hold on. Let me look that up. Because we should make a decision on what exactly should be searched against. Just 1 second. I'm pulling up the file here.
Cool.
Right now, when you search for a topic, excuse me, it looks at the name of the topic and the topic. So it looks at the name of the topic and it looks at the opportunity name. So if the opportunity's name is foobar, that will be searched against, and if the topic is community action, that will be searched against with your search term. So right now, I'm just assuming that the way it's implemented on the Ruby on Rails is like we are just looking at the name of the opportunity. Is that how it is?
For the search? No.
What is it searching against?
It's searching. They each have a topic, like a related model for them. So right now on Heroku, there's only one that has an actual topic assigned, and that's Code and Supply one has software as its topic. So that kind of works like clicking the buttons at the top of the opportunities page on the top of the Explorer, like clicking those different sections.
Right, and then those.
Not using the search bar. I think that would be a different implementation entirely.
All right. So my question then is: do we want? I think the answer is yes, but do we want to be able to search against topic as it is in that data that's returned and the name of the opportunity?
Yeah, I think so. I think we want to be able to, let people put any term in the search bar, any string, and be able to search against all relevant data for opportunities that contain that string.
Right. But I think Matthew's talking about the combination of the two.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit extra like work, like it's another check basically, and we're able to do it. I'm just asking, is that the case? And it seems like yes, we do want to implement it that way.
Yeah, I think so. I just think it's maybe I don't know, maybe next week or something. Like I think we should wire up what's there now and test it.
Well,
and then
the stuff now though, it kind of depends on that functionality though, right? Like the Explore page has the topic buttons like you mentioned before. That does a search, just for the topic that you clicked, and then the search bar in the nav, which is not necessarily coupled to the Explore page because you can use it anywhere. It's basically coupled to the Explore page because it reroutes, to it, and it populates the data. So that's what I'm saying. Those are the two examples of the lookup, right? So it's hard to validate. It's hard to validate things without the functionality being there.
Why are they the same?
Why is what the same?
So you're saying that the browsing by topic is the same as the search in the Angular setup?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just using that silly test data server, but the test data is an array of objects, and those objects are just the individual opportunities, and within them they have a name and all of the attributes, and they also have the topic field, so it actually searches against them. So the API endpoint itself is, API-version1-opportunities-topic, and then the topic is the param.
Right.
So that's kind of how I'm doing it. Because what else would it be good for if you just return, if you search a topic and you just return a bunch of topics? Like we want actual opportunities associated with that topic. So that was kind of my logic.
No, it does. It works the way you're saying. It returns opportunities for each topic.
Correct. And that that was kind of my logic. So we can go and talk about this more offline. But I do think there is value. Like what I'm getting at is I think there might be some value in making sure we get the back end to allow us to search for both, right? Like you type in Code and Supply, and that would return something like a partial match of that, or if you type it in correctly, or if you type in programming or software engineering, you also see it.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're separate though.
In terms of the endpoint, or in terms of like us implementing them.
In terms of the endpoint.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested in what you have to say about that because I don't see an obvious alternative solution. So I'm interested in seeing your approach.
I mean, to some degree, the way that those buttons, the topic buttons at the top of the page can work is kind of like a prescribed search, right? So like the topics are giving you a suggestion saying like robots, right? Which would be the same as if you were to type robots into the search bar, but you just don't know to type that in because you're not sure what topics exist.
I mean, we've modeled topics seemingly for a reason, in that we're going to have a finite list of them.
Yep.
So we should have a way to browse per that finite list. And that's, I mean, it's already done. So.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it could be different.
When you say topics, like the finite set is right now in the config file on the front end, so each organization can say, hey, like I care about history, programming, philosophy, etc. What are you suggesting with the topics? Like, or did you just use that word like synonymous with opportunities? I just want to make sure I understand.
I just use like the category name as a topic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, but I still am interested in hear about the endpoints. So regardless, Tim, we'll be able to implement the feature as you've asked, but the tech end is of interest. So we'll follow up on that, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Justin, what are you going to work on this week?
I think that the smartest way to handle this is for Matthew to kind of take what I've gotten up there on the Learn PGH app, try to implement it and see where it breaks down, like what fields are incorrect or something like that, and try to implement the topic breakdowns and the pagination stuff. And just, I think this week should be kind of following along with him and fixing up things that aren't as he expects them to be.
Cool. I'm in a stairwell.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, that is totally an interesting choice.
I was in another meeting. I had to jump out to hang out with you guys.
Wi-Fi reaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm at the Pittsburgh Public Schools office building. Justin, do you also want to just expand the seed data a little bit in whatever way is necessary to make it so we can test pagination? What do we need, like 50, 60 things?
Yeah, that sounds good. I had put in, I think there's like 6 right now on the live app.
Mm-hmm.
So I had put a default per page in as 2 just to test it out because it was so small.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting more in there and having an actual default would be nice. Kind of deciding on how much to send over at a time.
Yeah. And that could change depending on device size, maybe?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to. We can take the per page as a parameter.
Perfect. Yeah, I would think like mobile, since it'd be a single card in a column, would be kind of bombed out after like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Whereas 50 could be okay for desktop.
Yeah. I mean, I think it wouldn't be bad, but it would be better to not request stuff we don't need.
Yep, exactly.
You guys just want to take an MVP approach and just like have the same defaults across
That's
the
fine.
board.
We could go in the middle with like 20 or something.
We have an entire app to build, and then we'll worry about those smaller things. Not to say mobile's not important.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll change the pagination later.
Okay.
Set the parameter.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'll work with Matthew and expand seed data. If I have extra time, I can work on plain text searching or full text searching.
that would be using the search form in the navigation bar to search against any data associated with an opportunity?
Um, technically, I don't care. It's just my endpoint takes a string and returns you some stuff, and I don't care what you do with it. But yeah, that's how it'll be used.
Cool. Full text searching. All right. The only other thing you had from last week was number 96, update API to match CAC Explore app.
Yeah, and that's, you know, on its way, but it's kind of like I want to work with Matthew and just implement it and see where it's not. It's easier. It'll be easier to compare working code to those big JSON blobs.
Yep, and we had a branch called Heroku on the CCA Explorer, but I really just want to get everything in the one repo. We can set up another branch on the regular repo and all that. But one other thing, and this is pedantic, nitpicky, but do we want to change the name of the repo, or is that going to break everything? Like we have the code ship and the pages and all that.
From Saxifrage Learn to something else?
I mean, unless that's the app, right? That's the name.
I say
it's very direct, right? Like learn. Do we want to call it, City as a campus, right?
I don't think it'll break anything, but also I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with it if it does anything.
Yeah.
I'll make it as an issue, but we'll put it off till later.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That works.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then just to reiterate, when I was our last call, I was saying, or not call, but our last meeting, I was talking about my issue with the sprints and how we predefine the times. I don't know. I know we told Cameron that I was just talking about the cityasacampus.com /roadmap. Like that had time frames and all that. That's what I was talking about. So just to eliminate confusion, that was where I took issue, not how we were doing anything else. I just want to make that clear that it was just that timestamp thing. And Tim actually went and removed them all because he just kind of put them in there to give some estimates. Was the original intention. So.
Yeah, I forgot that I left those in the roadmap, and Matthew kept looking at it and being like, "Why are there dates? I hate these dates."
So yeah.
Gone now.
Yep. So just a quick little note about that. So that's all on my end. Anything else, Tim?
That's about it.
Was Cameron joining us, or did you hear from him?
I mean, he sent me an email that said something. I don't know. It said he was in a meeting and that he would try and join. Sorry guys, I have a meeting running long. I will jump in as soon as it gets finished. He sent that at 4 o'clock. So, who knows? If he jumps in the next 3 minutes, we'll let him chime in. But yeah, I think we're pretty good. I didn't have many things assigned to myself this time. I did do a bit of an update to the documentation site with our beautiful new logo and some new descriptions of different things. Trying to work with Chelsea to get the style guide going in there that she made. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks great.
Our style is way ahead of our app at the moment. Although most of it's not implemented, so.
Yeah, it's kind of coming along as we develop. Speaking of style, Tim, I'll let you take this if you want to put it as an issue. Again, kind of pedantic, but we are aiming to support IE9, IE10, things like that. SVG kind of breaks. So I noticed that the logo was, I tested an IE10, and the logo at the top left was down very far, and the search button in the nav bar was squished. It was super small. So these are things that could probably be fixed with a polyfill. But I just wanted to note that I'm not really that sure how to fix it other than with a polyfill. So I don't know if like this is something we should assign to Cameron, or it's something we just say, yeah, whatever. They're using an old browser. It's the user's fault. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Right. All right. I created.
It doesn't break functionality. So that's the key, right?
Yeah. Issue has been created.
Are we gonna merge the app this week?
Yeah, that was my last question. When are we bringing it all together?
I think this week is the week.
Nice.
All right. I'm gonna make an issue because I found a good link on how to do it.
Cool.
How to
You can assign it to milestone 6,
All right.
which doesn't exist yet.
Uh-oh.
I'll create it right now.
Let's see how good
Sprint 6.
GitHub's Ajax is, or whatever they use.
Yeah. Sprint 6 is live.
Oh, I don't see it. I'll have to refresh.
Sorry. Yeah, after the call, once I get home later, I'll go through and update and remove everything from Sprint 5 and put whatever we talked about here today into Sprint 6. And I'll
One more thing.
send out a link to it. Yep.
We might want to rewrite some of the Sprint 5 issues that I worked on because I did deliverable things on them, but they were broader than they should have been to begin with, like topics and search and pagination. They were all kind of, they didn't specify enough. So we should start new ones with this full text search as a new ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you want to go through and put a comment and close each of them and then create a new one that's more specific?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool.
I mean, I think that we should definitely aim to make small issues, right? So it's even if we don't follow the formal Scrum Agile user acceptance criteria and all that, just as long as we have enough stuff in there to detail what we're doing, and it's small enough to ship as a single component, I think we're good. So that really falls onto your end, Tim, to be honest. But I mean, the technical stuff, Justin and I could detail more of. But thinking in terms of items as small, compact, shippable work items is kind of going to fall on your court.
Yeah, and I think it'll be helpful us doing these weekly calls and not having any overhanging tickets. So
Right.
You define what the issue is for the next week, and we'll write it down during these calls every week.
And we can refine it as needed. Yeah, that's the best way. Because and again, I'm going to go on GitHub and I'm going to unassign everything that's assigned to me, and I'm only going to take on what I said I was going to take on. So I mean, that's the only annoying thing is I don't think GitHub lets us have two assignees because there's going to be some stuff that Justin and I are going to be working together on, but no biggie.
Yeah, you can just mention people to follow the issue.
Yeah, it's just the filtering is that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who's the assignee or whatever. So it doesn't look like we're going to be greeted with Justin's presence or Cameron's presence. So.
Nope. And I have to leave, so we're good.
Okay. Yeah, get off the stairs.
I'll catch up with Cameron later, and he can watch the video if he wants to catch up. So, all right.
Does this
thanks, guys.
automatically upload to YouTube or whatever, or do you?
Yeah.
That's fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bye.